my channel, Berries and Spice, a channel for those with a refined palate. My aim here is to show you the process of creating, cooking and plating up dishes with a fine dining twist in your home kitchen. On top of recipes, cooking tips and plating tricks, you'll find stories and resources that will help you become a better home chef. In this video, I'm making a Parsnip Tarte Tatin with tangerine, Szechuan pepper and chamomile. So, let's get cooking! Here's what you'll need. 2 eggs, some Szechuan pepper, a piece of puff pastry about 20 centimeters in diameter, chilled in the fridge for about an hour, whipping cream, a large parsnip, some 20 grams of butter, salt, 3 tangerines, dried chamomile, you can use a chamomile tea bag as long as it's fresh and good quality, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Start by peeling the parsnip, then chop it into 2 centimeter thick slices. I used a cake tin to make sure it all fits in a circle that's just slightly smaller than the puff pastry. Squeeze 2 tangerines. You'll use them to cook the parsnip. Melt the butter in a pan. Add half of the sugar and stir for a few seconds. Add the slices of parsnip in that nice circle you built earlier. Add the tangerine juice. Sprinkle a nice spoonful of Szechuan pepper and a bit of salt. Cook them on medium to low heat, covered, until the parsnip is tender and the tangerine juice has evaporated. Bring some water to a slow simmer in a pot. Squeeze the last tangerine. Break the eggs and add the yolk to a bain-marie pot. Don't throw your whole egg into the scraps or else you need to chase the yolk like I did. Season, add the remaining sugar and whisk until the egg and tangerine custard has thickened to the consistency of a hollandaise. Back to the parsnips. Baste them in the caramel until the tangerine juice has evaporated and you're only left with a thick caramel, yellow as saffron. Take the parsnips off the heat, chill them. I did that outside since it's cold now anyway. Add the puff pastry on top, making sure there is a little of it coating the sides too. Bake for about 15 minutes until the caramel has turned brown but not black, and until the puff pastry is nice and golden. Whip the cream, then gently fold in the egg and tangerine custard. Ideally with a spatula in circular movements from the bottom to the top. Take out the tarte tatin and turn it upside down on a flat surface. Look at that satisfied look! Now time to plate! Thank you, Lucas, for challenging me to cook with parsnips. This recipe was quite a tough one because I knew what my ingredient pairings was gonna be weeks before I made this dish. I just didn't have a clue what to do with each of the elements. And then at some point, it just hit me. Tarte tatin! As a matter of fact, I love parsnips, but there's always one risk when you cook with them. Making everything too sweet. Which is probably one of the reasons why I prefer parsnips as a dessert rather than a savoury dish. Have you ever had a parsnip dessert? I'm super curious. How did it taste? What was it? You can tell me all about it in a comment. Okay, so I know what you're gonna say. Ioana, you told us that you weren't gonna make desserts because you don't like sweets. Indeed, it is true. I don't like desserts very much. And I don't really have a sweet tooth, which is why even this dish wasn't very sweet. But there's one important thing to know about this recipe. This dish is a nice hybrid because based on the amount of sugar and salt that you use, you can end up either way with a dessert or a savory dish with sweet notes. Here I did indeed make a dessert, but you can adjust the sweetness to your preferences. Now, let's talk a bit about plating and general learnings. I actually filmed this recipe twice, and obviously cooked it twice. Because the first time, not only did I slightly burn the parsnips, but also I made the mistake of adding whipping cream to a hot tart, which means that it melts, which at a dinner is great when you're about to eat it. However, not great if you want to photograph it and end up with a nice and appetizing photo. I know, these are the challenges that you run into when you do YouTube recipes. I mean, just look at that. Although I have to say it was nice to try this recipe twice the same day and kind of adjust it the second time and make it even better. But anyway, there I was setting up my whole kitchen again, thanking myself that I somehow intuitively bought 2 parsnips instead of just 1, and I had exactly enough puff pastry for 1 more tarte tatin. If you're wondering, the green leaves are actually chamomile leaves. And I've got lots of chamomile growing on my terrace, even in winter, so I decided to just add a little bit of green to the plate. But if you don't have any chamomile plants, don't worry about it, you can skip that. So I'm continuing the challenge. Leave me 1 ingredient, ideally seasonal, as a comment below, and I'll try to feature it in one of my future videos. Thank you so much for being here and watching this thus far. And if you liked what you see, don't forget to like the video, and I'd be insanely grateful if you could subscribe to my channel as well. You will also receive notifications whenever a new video comes out, in that case. Also, if you have any questions about any of the recipes on this channel, or would just like to say hi, just DM me on Instagram, Berries and Spice. Until next time, bye!